Theme song.
Jesse and Bob are two dudes on the job to brighten your day while gabbing away on a pod. Forget your frown, let's see what's going down in Beachtown.
We mother of pearl, you gosh darn rootin' tootin' sharp shooting guns slinging outlaws. How's it going, beach townians, basic beaches, sons of beaches? Oh yeah, crazy beaches. We are Jesse Egan and Bob is a Beachtown Comedy podcast, only mental health podcast that actually cheers you up. I am one of those two guys previously mentioned. Jesse, how the hell are you, my man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I love your shirt. I like the Skeletor.
Thank you very much.
I am not nice.
It is Skeletor. He is a popular villain
great.
from an 80s cartoon.
Top of your head is cut off, though, now.
You know, I've had worse things.
So
yeah, I gotta fix that.
It seems like we haven't done an episode in a long time.
It's been about 6 months.
My notes said that last one we did was like on the 9th of September.
Really? I believe that. Yeah, sure.
Okay. So it's been almost, it's been like 3 weeks. Almost a month.
We're different people now.
We're different.
We're radically different people.
Everything's changed. In fact, we're in different time zones.
You can see, yeah.
Broadcasting during the day, and the sun has obviously gone down farther in Kearney Mesa.
Yeah, well, I'm 20 minutes away, so that makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
Now it looks like you have cat ears or horns.
I got a lot. I'm going to just kill the background altogether for your audio listeners.
Just lower your head. That's all.
Well, I can't. That hurts, and I can't do that. Okay. So I won't be doing that.
That's fine.
My spine hurts because my computer can only open to like a 70-degree angle, and everything that can go wrong has gone wrong. And I'm just being the best Bob I can be. So right now, I'm going to switch this.
That's all you can do.
Bob angry. Bob smash.
Bob smash. We're doing this podcast just in time. Bob is right on the edge mentally, and we're gonna pull him back from the precipice. So, grapes, baby. We're gonna do some grapes.
Let's do so. Well, what's new with us before we do? Because we don't have a movie. If you're,
I don't have any grapes anyway. So
God damn it! Well, I'll start the grapes in just a moment. But I'll kick off. I'll do the very best I can do. But what is new with us, or are we just going to save all that? We're different. It's been 3 weeks.
There's a lot of things that have happened, a lot of developments, a lot of ins and outs, a lot of what have yous. But I did a bunch of shows we haven't talked about. You've done a bunch of shows. We even did one together. We could start there. We did one at the Privateer in Oceanside together.
Yes.
And that was a lot of fun. We got to road trip it up to Oside, and
that's Oceanside for international listeners.
Yeah.
It's a different part of San Diego. It's north. It doesn't matter to them at all.
It's really fun. We performed at the Privateer, Marketplace Coal-Fired Pizza Winery, and longest name of any establishment.
That's what they're most known for. They won 3 awards for that, and all of the awards were exceptionally long named as well.
Yeah, they don't even fit on the plaques. But yeah, we had a good show. You did a 20-minute feature, and I got the headline. I don't know what I did, maybe 30 or 35 or something, but it was fun.
I don't remember the show anymore. Too much has happened. This was a long time ago.
So many things. It was last month. So
yeah, we're radically different people.
Well, I think it was great. Before that, I did a bunch of shows in Vegas. I don't know if we talked about those yet, but I had gone to
You were in Las
Vegas with Vicky and
Las Vegas, the city of angels, the city of brotherly love, the windy city. Apple. Yes, and the city that never sleeps.
Right. All
Las
of the
Vegas.
above. So yeah, we went there together. We performed at the Laugh Factory at the Tropicana, and I've done it before, but this time they had different mandates in Vegas. So the whole crowd was wearing masks. And this is the first time I've ever performed for an audience that's completely masked up. And I know that's all for safety, but I will tell you that it is very difficult for stand-up comedy. You can't read anyone's reactions. You can't see them smile. Their laughter is muffled. And overall, I thought it was not optimal. It was like being on Zoom again, sort of. But
it's funny you say optimal, because I was just about to say everyone wearing that mask makes it look like you're telling jokes to like 100 Optimus Primes.
That's true.
Just the faceplate just goes up and down, and you're like, "What the hell is this?"
Prime. Yeah. So that's what I did. I did all Optimus Prime material, and for some reason, it didn't work. No, it worked. It went well. I got to feature there for her, so I was doing the 20 minutes in between. And I have to say, it's the easiest gig in the world to perform there because you take an elevator to the gig. Like I've told you before, it's not like the other gigs that we've done recently where I drove like 8 hours in one day to do these gigs. But this was like you just get in the elevator, you go down, you do your 20 minutes, you get back in the elevator, go up, lay down for a bit, like oh, my second set's coming, I'll go back down. So for that reason, I mean, I just hope I can perform there again. I always love it there. And even though the shows were difficult with the masks, but it was a good time. And so yeah, I performed with Vicky a lot this month, actually. And this is the biggest news, is that this is sort of my last month of taking a lot of really long distance road gigs, that some of the tougher ones, when I like went to the Brea Improv, and I mean, it was like I got stuck in traffic. It took me like 2 hours just to get to Oceanside, or to pick up Vicky, and then another like 2 hours to drive up there, and then 2 hours to drive home. It was just brutal to do just like 20 minutes on the at the Brea. So I was sort of like, this is the last time I do $100 gig where I got to drive 6 to 8 hours in one day, because big news, I got a
Oh
full-time
my!
job.
You
Yep,
got a full-time job for the
full-time
entire time.
job.
We have known each other since 1978. I want to say
That's right.
about 10 years after I started working at the Comedy Store,
Mhm.
and uh,
Right after Nam.
right after Nam, not Vietnam, just
No, we
uh,
were eating. We just went out, had some nom noms. It
we
was
had some.
tasty, and then
That's
we're
right.
like,
Well, that's back when it was Nam's Comedy Club.
yes,
This is before for all you comedy historians. A lot of people don't know that it was
right.
Nam's before it was the store.
It was
Um,
noms, then it was the Chuckle Hut, then it was the laughing duck. It was the chuckling
Chuckling
duckling,
Duckling. Come
the
on now.
chuckling duckling,
Yes.
and then it was the Comedy Store. So
Right, and I think next year, if for just a few months, they're going to be Laughter Birth, and then they're going to go back to being a La Jolla Comedy Store once again out here in San Diego. 916 Pearl Street. Do not park at Vaughn's.
don't park there.
For the first time, this is the first time in the 600 years I've known you that you've had a full time job, like a
Yeah,
9 to
very
5.
proud of that, Bob. Very proud of finally getting gainful employment. No, I worked at Winston's for like 20
Right.
million eons.
Well, that was
you worked there with me,
unconventional. Yeah, I worked there
but
briefly.
not a 9 to 5 job, more of a 1 p.m. to 4 a.m. job.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You had a different gig going on there. That was an unusual endeavor there.
Yeah, that was rough hours, but I think this one will be the first time I have to do what normal people do. They get up at 7 or whatever they do. It's 8, and then collate things.
Sure.
File. You got to do some filing, collating. There's a lot of memos, right, Bob?
You are so lucky. This is a more creative and less office type job.
Very lucky.
Because that description of what you think people do all day right away tells me, yeah, you just get up at 8 and write some shit. This is what you should be doing.
All I do, it's a script writing job, so I'll be writing jokes, and so it's not really too much of a stretch. It's not like I'm going, oh my God, how do I collate? No one told me how to collate, Bob.
It's Collate is the name of the girl that just keeps sending you Microsoft Teams messages all day long. I think that's my team leader. She's one of my 18 team leaders. Oh, Collate wants something. She wants to change the rules halfway when you're done. I've had a bad day, a week at work, but
segue smoothly.
I'm having such a bad. I'm trying because we've been going for a bit.
Yeah.
Before we get to Graves, so my week, I'm having such a bad work and health week because I'm being punished for having a great weekend, because I'm not allowed to enjoy anything because the universe won't let me. Just much like
you enjoyed it for about a day, right? Or maybe the whole weekend. You enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it for the weekend, and then everything just had to go to shit again. So I'm at the doctor's last Friday. We're recording this on a Friday in a Pacific Standard American time, if you will. The first day of October. So for you, for both of our international listeners, both of our listeners, it is almost Thanksgiving where they are. If they celebrate Thanksgiving, I don't know. I think they do. I'm sure they do. Chris, in the Netherlands, they just write it in the comments. What are we doing here? Poor guy. I do that to them.
Also, in Great Britain, do they refer to our thing as Yanksgiving because we're Yankees? I just want to know that, because if not, they should, right? I'm giving you guys that one.
They should have that. I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna see. No, Mark's in Ireland. Ireland's not part of the UK. I think Scotland is. Either way, he would know. If it's Thanksgiving, it probably is not. That's because he just made that up. Now, I got a call last Friday, when I went to the doctor's office, asking me at the the last minute to feature for Jay Moore of SNL and
Best
Jerry
news you ever got
Maguire.
at the doctor's office, right?
What's that?
Best news you ever got at the doctor's office.
Yeah, it was. And it was the strangest part was it was the doctor who asked me. He's like, "Hey, do you mind featuring for Jay Moore? And now let me touch your balls." And I said yes to both. And, so that was exciting for me because it was the first time I was doing a weekend at the Comedy Store, La Jolla, 96 Pearl Street, on Park at Vons. It was the first time that I was doing a weekend there because they'll give you a ticket. They'll tell you. Better not park at Vons.
Probably.
Yeah. Better be buying the deviled egg potato salad if you want to park there. So I find out I'm this is great. This is great news. It's the first time I've been anything at the Comedy Store, La Jolla Comedy Store, whatever you want to call it. It's the first time I've been anything there on a weekend that was other than like the opener. Like for years.
So this was your first time. What's with the sound here? It was your first time featuring at the Comedy Store, La Jolla, then?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
The first time featuring. So in the past, I mean, when I worked there as a door guy back in the 70s, I had the opening bullet biting door guy spot that you do 5 or 7 or whatever it is, like cold. Like if it's an 8 o'clock show, for those who don't understand what I'm talking about, you start at 8 on the nose. So basically you're there to bite a big bullet because people are still sitting down to getting your drink. You're really just there to let them know there's a show going on and crack them, make them smile, make them happy as you can. But really, you're just biting a bullet so they know there's a show going on. Mm-hmm. Now, in the past, when I visited from New York all those years when I was in New York, I'd be here once or twice a year. Sometimes I'd get lucky and I would do a 10 or a 15-minute up top. Sometimes it would happen for me as years went on. But this time was the first time I went everyone up right before the headliner. Like it was 20 minutes of me, and then I bring up the headliner because there's no hosts, there's no emceeing or whatever you want to call it in this club. For those who don't know. So it was the first time on a weekend, Bob, like now it used to be 2 Saturday, 2 Friday shows. Now it's 1 on Sunday, so 5 shows. It's the first time that Bob has brought up the headliner, like, "Hey, I'm the guy. Thank you for letting me. Now here's the guy." So, what?
Hey, are you got a headphone or what happened?
Am I having an issue?
Yeah, well, I'm hearing myself in an echo or something. So
oh God damn it! I hope not. Son of a bitch. Let me put it
coming out of your speaker and then it's being recorded again.
Oh, son of a.
We'll have some feed to the back.
God damn it all to hell. What is the point anymore?
Hold, please.
What's the goddamn point? I don't understand what the hell we're doing there.
How are we doing? Can I hear you?
Stuff, but now I can't hear you because I used bad headphones. I used the wrong ones. Okay, we might edit this out. God damn it all.
Hold, please.
Nothing works.
I'm not sure how much we can help Bob today. He's not in a particularly good mental place, If I can get
how are we doing now? How are we doing now?
I can hear you. I hear you,
okay.
Bob.
No more echoes.
Loud. You sound clear.
Sound clear. I sound angry.
You sound good, and I don't hear the feedback.
Okay.
So you got some good news, and you got to feature, and you got to do 5 shows total at the Comedy Store.
Yes,
20 minutes a pop, and bringing up Jay Moore.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. And I got to I get to hang out with him for like a half an hour on the first Friday of the Green Room and mess with him and do some of those like Bob real life jokes that I never do on stage and just pester people with. I got to do some of those.
Yourself with doors.
Yeah, like I said, okay, after all that, he's like, "Hey, man, you got I like your whole vibe, man. You got like a whole ridiculous thing going on." Oh, things I said. And then as I leave, I said, "Well, let me get prepared. I want to take this show seriously." And I, of course, pull open a door and smack myself in the head with the door. And then him and his manager buddy are all laughing. And they fucking guy.
That's great.
I even said at one point, I'm like, "Oh, I don't mind. Yeah, I saw that. Oh, what about that audience member? Yeah, I said, yeah, I saw that guy. I was pissing out of my dick like an American." Which just makes no sense. Like, why do we?
That's how Americans do it.
It's how man does it. I said like our founding fathers did. We urinated out of our wieners. They didn't care, dude. They had a constitution to sign.
How did you enjoy being at the Comedy Store? I mean, when you texted me, it sounded like you had some of the best sets you'd ever had.
Best, I would say the first Friday one was my best set in 15 years of doing this.
Wow.
And I think of the other 4, 3 of those other 4 could have been numbers 2, 3, 4. It was 20 minutes of the most experienced Bob to date, with the time. And for the first time since the year and a half of being back from with COVID and everything, I didn't have the COVID, you understand, but I could have. I actually, we don't really know, but yeah, no, it was the timing was back, the instincts were back, and the confidence was back. So
Bobby
the confidence to do the little extra things and figure, and also get the act down where it's like, okay, I can figure out this is how this 20 minutes goes. With they were almost all pretty much the same. I'd say there was 2 or 3 minutes of wiggle room material that was in and out, but pretty close to the same. And that's what you do on those weekends. Like, hey, just put all your best foot forward. It's not the time to experiment. So it was the first time, all those things, timing, confidence, instincts are all back, and the control, more so than ever since we kind of came back like 3 months ago in San Diego. The control was back. It was a nice long pauses. It was having them and being able to do what I want to do when I want to do it, and improvise when needed. When it was like, okay, that was an unexpected thing that happened in a room. Well, I forgot to tell you this. One time the lights started going out during one of my sets. That was the Friday second one.
Really?
Apparently, there's a knob in the green room, and I forgot about this. I used to know this because I worked there, and I'd say you shut it off. There's an exposed knob in the green room where if you don't work there, you don't know what it does.
Yeah.
So apparently, and he wasn't fucking with me on purpose, Jay Moore was just playing with it. He's like, what the fuck does this knob do? Meanwhile, the lights are going on and off for the back half of the room.
On the stage, or like the
no,
room
on
lights?
the back half of the audience. So, and the thing is, the front row doesn't know that.
Oh my God.
But the sides do, because you have people on your left and right, so everyone's turning one way or another. The front row is looking at me like, what are they looking at? And I'm looking at them like, did that? And then I said something about it, and some stupid, I tried not to do some stupid, did they pay the bills joke, and I think I did. But then, like, a lot of people just stared at me, so I had to say, you do know what I'm talking about, right? The lights just went on and off. They're like, yeah, okay, just so I know I'm not having a stroke. And we all work together, so you can tell me. And what's even more messed up is he asked what it was, and he got his wires crossed. He thought that he was accidentally messing with the sound. So he apologized to me when he came up and we did the half you're passing and handshake. He's like, I'm sorry about what I did to the sound. And I go, did he fuck up my sound? Because that was my least favorite of the sets. And I'm like, was my sound going in and out the entire time? And that's my thought. And then he thought he messed up the sound, but he messed up the lights. And so a door guy had to run into the green room and go, hey, please don't
stop fooling with the lights.
You're fucking up your feature.
That is a weird place to put the lights. The switch.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell, but that was the doctors. Anyway, we'll talk about the doctors and the grapes, I guess, at some point. Should we do some grapes? We've been going for 20 minutes. Grapes.
Grapes.
We ain't doctors. We ain't saviors. Now enjoy the fruits of your labor. Oh, yeah.
We're back, baby. Grapes. As
sweet
you know,
mother of pearl.
We should have given the disclaimer at the top of the episode that this is a mental health podcast, but we don't really know much about mental health or how to cure it. So if you have, I don't know if it's cure it. See, that's how little I know. If you have any real serious issues with your mental health, of course, you want to go see a professional. But in the meantime, Bobby and I will take a crack at it with this thing called GRAPES, an acronym that stands for G, gentle with self, R, relaxation, A, accomplishment, P, pleasure, E, exercise, and S, social. And when you kind of track those things and try to do a little bit of each of those during the day, you have a better day and a more fulfilling life overall, and supposed to make you happier and less depressed. So that is our goal. And I didn't really record anything, so just kind of free balling it. As far as do you want to go,
I'll go
backwards or
first.
forward?
Let's go forwards. Let's just go normal. I'll go first with G, gentle with oneself. That's where you give yourself a compliment. In light of your disclaimer, I actually am a professional, and you can take all the advice from me all day long. I'm not technically a doctor, but since I work in healthcare, pretty much all my advice is more or less professional advice, more or less.
Because you got a full-time job now there as well.
Yeah, I click things and I answer Microsoft Teams messages in healthcare. And
do you ever collate?
I don't know her yet. I think she works in accounting.
Okay, I thought she was a nurse, but
I need a real gentle. I need a real G. Good God.
That was going to be your G. Was a fake. I'm a fake doctor.
Yeah, I'm a fake doctor. No, I'm
What do you have to
cleaning
be hard
oils.
about yourself? I mean, first of all, you just had the best set of your life, right?
Yeah,
I mean, in a
it's
way,
over.
can't you compliment yourself for that by saying you've gotten
Yes.
funnier
Okay.
over time? How many comics do we
Hang on.
know that are not any funnier than when we started, or seemingly worse, or they never quit, they never revise, they don't improve, and you, after all this time, have actually gotten better at it, as is evidenced by the fact that you just had your best set in 15 years. For
I'll
me,
tell you.
that would be an accomplishment, and also maybe an opportunity to be gentle with yourself about how much you've improved as a comedian.
Well, we'll say this. I was able to have the best set of my, well, I hate the word career of this thing. I was able to have the best set I've ever had with very short notice, and pulling it together with short notice and being aggravated at the doctor's office. And then pulling that weekend together. And despite that 1 second set Friday, which I'm always harping on, but it gives, you know, the four, that one was like good enough, but the other four were great. I would say persevering through the last minute, you're going up now, you're featuring now, and the Sunday is traditionally low energy, get over the Sunday hump. Persevering through those uphills where a lot of comics we know have all these, you know, here's all the advantages, everything lined up, we're going to make sure you're all good. Being able to do the best work I've done on the fly, I think the adjustment, the adaptation to spontaneity was my I'll sneak that in with the gentle with oneself comedy compliment. I'll put in my
I think that's a very good compliment for a comedian, is to be able to be flexible, right, and to adjust to different things that happen when the lights go off at the back of the room. You know, you don't just ignore it, you actually address it and do something with it. So
there's
that's great.
no ignoring that. And just to get off on a comedy tangent, and young comics out there, if everyone in the room sees or notices something, you're not ignoring it. You have to address it. You should, don't ignore it, because good God, it's not like someone dropped their phone, like the lights went on and off. Like, come on now, like, what are you doing?
But sometimes you can ignore heckles, that, you know, which is a little different.
Yeah,
you know, but I think the overall statement is, like, you know, being able to change it up depending on what you got, you know, what you're faced with is
I
important.
rolled with the punches. I rolled with the punches, just like I did when I defeated the Moondogs on August 17th of 2001 for the WXW Tag Team Championships in Northeastern Pennsylvania.
If I could piggyback just on your G, I just want to add another compliment, which is you wrote a joke this week.
I thought you were doing your G.
I don't have a G, but I want to just give you an extra G. This is sort of you did a capital G. I'm going to give a little lowercase G. You did this joke that I then told to Anna, and it made her laugh out loud. And I just thought, it's just such a funny joke. It was this joke about Phil Collins. And I don't know if you want to tell it, or
I might as well. I'll do the end, because that's how jokes work. Because there's no movie, so we're taking our time a little with the grapes today. I love to do this. I do this joke about Phil Collins where I say I listen. Usually after I ramble and run and yell and do something nutty and make a spectacle, I stop, I pause, let it die down for a second, say I listen to a lot of Phil Collins, and then go on to about how it's not intentional. I just really like grocery shopping. And now this is one of the things I was adding on during the week. I basically have a better explanation of that. Basically, it's about how did Phil Collins get this sweet gig where he's the soundtrack to buy in potato salad for the rest of our lives. It's the second potato salad reference on this podcast. I don't even like potato salad that much. It's okay, but how this happen? And then there's a thing where I end the joke, and then I do one of these things. I break my rule, Jesse.
Yeah.
Because I hate it when
sometimes you got to break your own rules, baby.
You do, and I hate it when comedians say, you know what, after a joke, one time I did that joke and a guy said this, and here's the awesome funny thing I said because I'm so fucking, and that's always fake, by the way, and fuck all those comedians. But I'm openly lying, so it's okay. So fuck all of you who really do it. It's fake and hacky. But
that do this thing that I do, right? That
you really do. You don't do that.
No, but you do that. You're going to do it right now.
Right, but I tell. But the punchline lets you know it's 100% fake. Is the difference here?
Right.
They're trying to sell it as if I'm really awesome, and that's why they suck. But come get me, assholes. 7821 Linda Vista Road. Come
How do
find
you
me.
plug negativity in the middle of my compliment to you about
I'm
this
sorry.
joke?
I'm not. I guess I'm not nice.
Jesus
No,
Christ.
but anyway, the idea is someone has tried to correct me on my Phil Collins joke. They tried to heckle me on a Phil Collins joke, and they go, "But and my response is, "Hey, buddy. First of all, but it's rude. It's blah blah blah, and also it's a Phil Collins joke. You don't go, but you go, ba 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 ba
Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah,
I did that for Anna and she just
liked
started
it.
laughing.
She
I
liked it.
think it's so funny. And it was one of those, I think we talked about it, the fact that yes, it's a dated reference, so half the crowd's not going to get it, but the half that does get it twice as good because it's so strong, you know.
The half that does creams their pants, and they donate the extra cream to a sperm bank in La Mesa.
Extra cream.
That didn't hire me.
Well, I want to try to figure out my G. I mean, you were talking about rolling with the punches. I guess I'll talk about ad-libbing a little bit, because some of the stuff that I've done on stage recently that I was really happy with, that I was proud of, were ad-lib moments, and they were sort of defensive, bobbing and weaving. Like I did a wedding. Bajan and I had to perform at someone's wedding.
Yeah, no, I didn't know enough information. I want you to expand on this, because I know you mentioned this gig, and we both had 48 things going on at the same time, and I didn't get enough information. Tell me about this wacky ass gig here, because I want more. I want more information.
Fancy place up in like Del Mar. It was like this fancy hotel, you know, and everything is like marble and gold and stuff, and or San Marcos maybe. I'd have to ask Bajan because he drove and I didn't pay attention. But indoor wedding, small party, like 12 people, right? One of them is like a radio. There's like radio guys and stuff. You know, supposedly these are like entertainment big shots and stuff. But anyway, we're performing, and beforehand we're waiting because they're eating dinner, and we're in the other room, and this woman, like the head of the wedding planning, comes in, and you know, I'm asking her a couple questions about this. I said, how long you been doing this? And it was like 20 years she's been doing this. And I said, how many weddings have you done where they had stand-up comedy? And do you know how many the answer was, Bob?
I have a guess, but go ahead.
The old zero. Never done it before. No one has ever wanted to have stand-up ruin their it's a most important day.
Stupid idea. Yeah.
The worst idea.
Who are these
and not only that,
people?
but you could tell that she didn't know anything about stand-up, because like when we went to go on, the mic cord wasn't long enough to reach into the room that they were in, so we were like standing backwards in the doorway, and the people are drinking wine. They had their backs to us. Half of them had their backs to us as the table is set up thusly, and everyone's back, and so people are turning, looking over their shoulder while they drink wine, going, who's talking behind me? And then it's like they can't start waving at you like, come into the room. And I'm like, I physically can't, you know. I'm like tethered to the wall. It's like a bungee cord, and I'm like, you know. And anyway, yeah, so and I got heckled at a wedding, like immediately.
Of course you did. Yeah.
Like second joke in, you know, I'm trying to talk about being engaged and wedding stuff and relationship stuff and single versus single stuff. So I started on the smart car. It's like, it's hard to be single when you drive a smart car, hacky bullshit, right? And then the lady goes, I got a smart husband, and like points at her husband, you know. It totally interrupts me and starts, and like, he's the smart one. So now I have to like respond to her.
That's hideous.
Right. And I'm like, oh, you know, yeah, it's great. He's so smart, huh? You could tell he's really smart. How long you guys been together? You know,
because you can't shit on him.
11 years, you know,
fucking wedding,
you know, whatever. And so I'm like, okay. So, and I can tell she's not going to stop. Right. So I'm like, oh, wow, that's great. You know, I'm like, I'm wondering, you guys, like, what's the secret? Like, how have you stayed together for 11 years? And he's like, and she's like, well, the answer. And I go,
Uh,
you know what? I think I need to hear this one from him.
yeah,
And
good call,
that
good
was
call.
like
Yeah,
the killer, like the whole
yeah,
wedding party broke
yeah,
up laughing
yeah,
because she was interrupting and annoying and won't even let him speak. And I'm like, how do you stay together for so long? You know, and I'm like, this is directed at him.
yeah,
I need
yeah.
to know.
Well, you know, he drinks
It's
heavily, is what
yeah,
it is. Yeah.
clearly, yeah.
The family hates her too, which
I
is a
mean,
good thing. I wasn't there because I'm really not. That's really not my forte. So my only response would have been, you know, the family hates you.
well, I was told the next day that one of the people at the wedding got extra drunk and caused a whole scene, and guess who it was?
Yeah,
My heckler. So,
of
but
course,
that
of
was
course.
really a crazy thing to do stand up at a wedding. And I guess I would
Oh,
just say for my G, it's that being able to ad lib in the moment when you're getting interrupted in the
yeah,
worst possible circumstance. And I
and
had a number of those in the last month of just getting like
yeah,
interrupted with at weird times
sure,
during setups, and so the whole joke is ruined. Like you cannot
yeah,
continue with that joke and go down for that punchline. You basically have to just totally pivot and do something else. And I would say that I've gotten better at that over time, and now instead of like jumping on someone's ass and just really being mean when they heckle, it's like, how do I do this in such a way that I'm not the villain in this
yeah.
situation?
Well, that's the thing I wanted to add on to your G. Actually, we're just going to do this. We're going to do all. We're all doing all G's today for this
Yeah.
podcast.
That's cool.
But yeah, because the thing is, what people don't understand is like, okay, you didn't interrupt when you interrupt a stand-up comedian. You don't interrupt a person talking. You do, but it's more than that. Think about this. So they've driven God knows how long to be there. How long did you drive there each way?
Oh, probably an hour and a half, maybe something
Yeah,
like that.
too fucking long. And how much time did you do? 10, 15, 20, 30? I don't know what you did.
12
12.
15 I
Okay.
was supposed to be
So
15, but it was 12, I think.
so pretty much your whole day is centered around this 12 minutes. And
And
this
yeah, right, because earlier in the day was hours of what exact jokes do I do for this wedding?
right,
What 15 minutes of the cleanest wedding appropriate
right.
stuff can I do for this
That's
people,
what I'm
these people that I
saying.
don't
So
know really,
yeah.
you know?
So knuckleheads think that you're doing 12 minutes of work. No, you're doing a day of work. That's what they don't get, is because there's the preparation, the choices, the travel, and all the other aggravations and all the uphill little things they could throw at you, like tying you to the wall, whatever kind of crazy bullshit, you know. So they don't realize, okay, so you just basically, it's like it's like kicking over a kid's sandcastle or somebody's Jenga game. Like, you know, like, or shaking up an ant farm. Like someone's been working at this fucking forever, and you just toppled it over just by an ass who was thinking without talking. And to
Yeah.
keep your cool during that, and I think of it almost as an out of body experience. Like I'm just pretending I'm not pissed off right now,
Yeah.
and I'm going to fool you. And that's the farthest I've ever come in the evolution of this part of the game. Is I'm just pretending I'm not pissed off, and you're not going to know I'm pissed off while I'm on a stage. You're not going to know I'm
Right.
pissed off, and that's going to be that.
Right.
And that's good. That's still a good quality. Not having a meltdown, because then you really lose. And then even if people, you're the asshole if you have a meltdown. So
The
the
other part of
control
it too,
is,
Bob,
yeah,
that I notice is as soon as you get off the stage, that person will like want to high five you and be like,
every
we
time.
did that together. We're bros, we're
Yeah,
partners, we're like
no,
this. I should go on the road with you. And part
yeah,
of, I think,
no,
the
that's
exercise of
yeah,
self-control is
yeah,
not flipping out on them in that moment
yeah,
too, and not
yeah,
going like, man, fuck you, you fucking be like, you got to be like,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
totally,
You know
and
what
then
else we
just
can?
go away, you know.
Do you know what else we can do together? We can fight in the parking lot. I can try that one too.
And that
Yeah,
situation can go that way so easily because these people are
yeah.
always drunk and
Always
they have a
drunk,
lot of ego involved, and
body
they
ego.
really think, oh well, you think you're funny, I'm funny, and they want
Yeah,
to interject themselves, and then at the end they really want credit for helping you, and if
yeah,
you reject it, I have had that go left pretty
yeah.
bad, you know.
Sure, sure.
Because I used to have not the greatest self-control, especially once you get off and you finish dealing with it.
Right.
I'm like,
You've
hey,
dealt.
I'm clocked out now, motherfucker.
Yeah,
So as soon as you talk shit, it's like,
yeah.
but I
Well,
realize you're not really clocked out until you're at home again. You know,
no,
while you're in that club or wherever you are, you're in character. You got to stay in character.
at least not until your car door closes.
Right. So you're driving home, calling Bob, going, you wouldn't believe what the hell just happened, you
Oh,
know.
Jesus. What we've got some good
But-
gentles. We both
Yeah.
had good comedy, experiences and whatnot right before
Yeah.
our inevitable double 9 to 5.
Right. Oh, and
endeavors.
that, by the way, that 9 to 5 job leads me to my R, which I could start on this
Oh,
one.
I
if you
know what
like.
this. Yes, I know what this is. Go
But
right
you know,
ahead.
this one, it's a big deal for me because I've really been sleeping like crap, especially in this last month. And I said, when I get this job, the very first thing I'm buying is a new bed. I need a king bed instead of a queen. Anna and I share it, and she piles up the pillows and the blankets to the point where it's like I'm in bed with 3 people, and it's
Yeah.
just this huge mountain. So I need a little extra room. Sorry, she's watching this. I mean, you do that, but you know that. I love you, honey. I love you and your pile. But so we're gonna get a king. We went in there, we tested all the mattresses. We're gonna get this amazing, like, silver sleep Sealy posture. It's just amazing with an one of these adjustable. We're like old people now. We're gonna be like, "Meh, let's watch TV, meh, let's go to bed."
Hold
And
on,
it helps
back up
with
a
sleep
second.
apnea and everything
Wait,
else.
you
You can
said-
adjust, put your feet up.
You said you tested the mattresses.
Yes.
So
yes.
so in a store with like salesmen or saleswomen or salespeople, with salespeople looking at you, you're just lying down in a bed. Like, is that weird? Or
They tell
other
you to
people-
do. They bring you to the different beds, and they have
That's
like
worse.
they give you a pillow, and it has like a special cover, and you get in each. You lay down in each one and test it out, and it was fantastic. I anyone in San Diego, Mattress Firm, I recommend my friend Jason at Mattress Firm. He deserves all the credit, and I love him. So that's going to be my R. I'm planning on getting this bed this week, and I think it's going to be a game changer, Bob. I think I'm going to sleep so much better because it's got cooling technology. It's adjustable. It's
That's
got memory.
crazy.
It'll remember to be.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I'm excited about my R coming up. I think I'm going to be checking that R off every day. Like, woke up
I'd
at
be
8
paranoid.
a.m.
I'd be paranoid about memory phone in the event I was intimate with a lady, because I'd be like, "Hey, you're not taking notes, are you?
You're not going to remember this disappointment.
You're gonna forget this shit, right? All right, then, okay. You just forget about the giggling. That's all I want. Okay, silly
And it's
joke.
funny, one of our sponsors earlier in the season of our shows was Megabed. If you guys remember, Megabed, which if I don't know if you remember this, Bob, but if you get a Megabed mattress and you put a glass of wine down on one side and then drop a bowling ball on the other, you cause a huge fucking mess. So, it's good
Why
to
would
know.
you ever do that at home?
Because you like bowling and wine and sleeping in wine and glass.
What kind of fucking asshole does that? I never understood.
How
like
was
when
your
they have.
how was your R? How was your R this week?
My R is a drizzling goddamn shits. My relaxation it's like shit's second cousin. It's the worst.
I love that phrase. It's a real roller coaster ride with you lately. I mean, the highs of having your best set ever, and now you feel like a real low place.
And do you know how hard it is to sleep on that roller coaster?
It must be hard.
Hands up.
Fucking,
Jesus Christ Almighty!
I tried to give you my old mattress, but
I can't. I don't have the room, and I don't have the box spring, and I'm tied to the bed that my apartment comes with, because that's where I'm at in life.
Folds out of the wall. It's like a ironing board.
It should. I wish it did. I'd have more room to buy more toys. But no,
that's how I picture you sleeping, is just on a pile of toys, like in Castle Grayskull.
I wish, dude. I wish they made, like, how like kid beds, they'd have like a giant race car or a giant Castle Grayskull. I want one of those for an adult. I want a full size. It doesn't have to be queen or king, because who are we kidding? Who's coming over? But
just me. I'll be like, hey, what's up? Get out of that race car.
Oh, really? Oh, you got the king size Grayskull because for the orgy? What for? What?
Is She.R.A.P.E and Manny Faces coming over?
Jesus Christ, Manny Faces, that counts as 3 for the orgy.
He's
got 3 faces.
It's an orgy right there.
Shout out to Chris and Mark. They're gonna think that's hilarious. But now I'm sleeping like a guy doesn't sleep good.
You need the G.I. Joe aircraft carrier as a bed. That would be sick. Right?
Oh, dude, it's 7 feet long. It'd actually be longer than my bed.
That would be a great bed for you.
Not like a bed-shaped G.I. Joe aircraft carrier. I need the actual USS flag G.I. Joe
yes,
aircraft
you
for me to
sleep
sleep
on the
on.
flag, right?
Yes, I need to sleep on that, which would, oh my God, the death threats I would get from G.I. Joe fans across the world for doing
You're
that.
sleeping on that flag.
What the hell is the matter with you? There's like 6 left in existence. There are animals in Africa that are not as rare that are being hunted by rich dentists in Michigan that are not as rare as that fucking USS flag, you maniac.
I don't think you'd have good rest on that either.
Can't
You'd be like, God, that's another cannon in my ribs.
So here's the thing about my sleep. I don't know. I pretty much always have nightmares.
I did not know that. Why did you bring that up earlier in the show?
Like
this is our first time hearing
this. It's episode 13. I'm like,
I know. Oh, this is our Halloween episode. Are you going to tell us about your horrible?
I actually don't know if it's 13 or 14. I have no idea.
Let's just say it's 13 because
sure. And it's a Friday, so it's the Friday. It's Friday the 13th episode, which is not Friday the 13th.
Is it the same nightmare?
No, not at all. They're always radically different. If we're not falling, we're always lost. We're late for something. We're falling. We're angry. There's fighting. There's just it's always a bad thing. If something's going wrong, am I being
always like you always have nightmares?
Like is that yeah? Most of the time, yeah.
Wow, we need to do a dream analysis and like get a notebook,
I
put
remember
it by the
very
bed,
little,
and write down what these dreams are.
The second I wake up, I remember very little.
Yeah.
Although there's one that's happened a few times where I'm in a van. You know how like in your dreams. And I don't believe dreams are actually real, by the way. That's another thing for another day. But you know how, like in your dreams,
no, they're not real. They're dreams.
No, that's not what I mean. But you know how, like in your dreams, like there'll be people from different parts of your lives, but everyone's hanging out like they know each other.
Yeah.
Like best example, you have a high school friend, a college friend, and a coworker, and Christopher Walken, and you're all just hanging out in a van, and then
seems normal.
Right, it seems normal at the time, but then when you wake up, you think about it, like, wait, those people don't know each other at all.
Yeah,
one of those things. For me to like, of course, there's so many wrestlers and everything else, and Christopher Walken will be there. No, he won't. He's never been there once.
Do you fight the Moondogs every night in your sleep?
I might as well. That's the reoccurring nightmare. And I was a tag team champion during 9/11, by the way. I don't know if I ever mentioned that. But which is hard because people look to you for guidance and you don't know what to do. You're just tag team champion, but it's a community and it takes a village, honestly. But I always have nightmares, so relaxation is hard. So even when now I'm getting like 6 hours of sleep, 7 if I'm lucky on a weekday. But the problem is, for some reason, I need to set the alarm, the snooze button, as many times as possible. I need to set it like for almost an hour. So really, my 7 hours of sleep is really 6. If I get 6, it was really 5 of uninterrupted, maybe. But that's and I never remember what they are. But I know I'm tossing and turning because my blankets are always fucking everywhere. So I know I'm moving around a lot, and I can't do anything about it because of the libtards.
I didn't know how you were going to end that one.
Neither did I. I didn't think about how I was going to end the sentence. So I didn't.
It's always good to blame them, though.
I just do that, yeah. Somewhat in half jest before anyone picks a side. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, we don't care. But
I don't give a fuck. But
I don't like that term much. But
no, it was a bad one, and I don't think I've said that. I don't think I've said that word out loud before just now. But it just made me.
I've never heard you say it. But
no, I'm going to text it to you later. It'll be funny. I will.
That'll be your accomplishment. That's texting that. I don't know what we should say for accomplishments. It seems like we've already done all our accomplishments. And
we've done let me do accomplishments. I'll do accomplishments.
Oh no,
I completed a 345 piece. Oh fuck! I dropped piece. Lego classic Batmobile.
Whoa! Look at that beauty.
Look at this.
That's a Lego?
Yeah, this is made.
You cannot even tell.
You can't
From
tell.
my perspective, that looks like a fully intact car. You cannot tell that that's Legos.
It is very much Legos. You can see maybe a little bit on the side there.
That is really nice. Do you put the stickers on, the decals?
Yeah,
and stuff?
I put the stickers on myself. 345 pieces. It took 2 2-hour sessions.
Wow, that is a beaut
to do, and I'm really happy with it. It comes with the Batman and Joker. I know the Joker doesn't ride with Batman. I don't care, but I think it's very cool. And it comes with this weird spinning stand thing they build. See, there's a picture. There's a picture of Christopher Reeve, who played the Batman on the Thing before he fell off a horse.
No, that was Superman.
What?
Anyway.
No,
So
no, it's Batman and a Joker, not Batman and Superman. You got to pay attention. So, yeah.
that is
There you go.
gorgeous.
That's very cool. And it's got
What
the
a
Cesar
beautiful
Romero.
car that was.
I thought you would appreciate it because I know you like older Batman.
I do.
And this is the camera may not pick him up at all, but this is it's going to be hard. A Cesar Romero style Lego Joker.
Oh, that's awesome.
Now I don't know if you remember Cesar Romero was he loved his white face paint and he didn't want to get rid of it for the role, so he grew a mustache over it.
It looked weird.
That's not really what happened. It was the opposite.
Weird with the white paint over the mustache.
I loved it. I think they should do, like, if they ever do like an older Joker thing, they should have him be like grow the scruff out and actually paint that green. But,
didn't they also, like, they painted him white over the mustache, but then didn't they like draw in a mustache too, kind of?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I think I was
just imagining that.
That's
beautiful though. So that's really nice.
And I'm not a Lego guy. I'm not no more Legos. I'm not
Legos.
Because with toy guys we always go on about money and space. This was the first time it was money, space, and time that was a factor. And I'm like, I can't get into this. This is not good. I don't like where this is going. But it was a Walmart exclusive, and I thought it looked cool. And as you know, again, as we were talking about the other day, when you actually have one of these fucking jobs, you can go, oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm getting that.
Bob is keeping Walmart from going under.
Suck it, Burt Ward. Okay, I don't know why I said that. It was inappropriate.
That looks awesome. Is that accomplishment or pleasure?
It's an accomplishment. It's an accomplishment. I think
very nice.
Because these things are hard to build. There's a lot of a lot of instructions.
I think that's terrific.
Oh, that's my accomplishment. What do you have for a? What have you? We give it away with the job. That was a big accomplishment.
Yeah, that's a big one. Let's see. I did what else I accomplished? I did a radio show this week, the Powell Brothers radio show, My Funny House. The big accomplishment there was getting up early enough and driving in to do the show. Did the Comedy Store La Jolla last night. Was it last night, Thursday night?
Yes, it was last night.
And I felt great about that. I felt like the crowd was very talkative and they were ignoring the comics. And I felt like I really got them to wake up by sort of changing up what I was going to do to kind of just yell and make them pay attention and then keep their attention and then ending early. So it was like leaving them wanting more.
Yeah.
And then it felt like the momentum of the show really turned around. I think that's my biggest one for this week, because all the comics will know that when you have a hostile crowd and everyone's talking, your first goal is just to get them to even pay attention to you and listen, and then secondarily to connect with them and get them to keep paying attention. But I felt like I really did that last night, and I think I called you because I was so excited how it felt really good. And it was a lot of the new material about being engaged and stuff, so that feels extra good. It was sort of Anna's favorite joke of mine is about how when she falls asleep, I feed nocturnally like a bat, flap around in the kitchen and eat everything. And when she made that comment, I realized that, lately that is the thing that's been hitting the best. So I kind of was focusing on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And really working on the new stuff the most, and kind of trying to shelve a lot of the classic standard stuff that I do all the time. We're gonna go up to the La Jolla store and do Myrna and Spirit again, but it's like, what is the point? You've already established that works. So you don't need to work on that. So I was really happy with it, and I guess that's my big.
That's awesome.
A.
Change it, because you're changing the mood. The mood. That's the thing. You're changing the mood and you're uniting them. You're getting them on the same page. Like, hey, all of you who were doing your own personal bullshit, yada, 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 in your own little micro bubbles here. Now we're all in one big bubble. And then I'm going to burst your bubble. Yeah. Good accomplishments. What about P for pleasure? So we are
P for pleasure. I mean, the biggest one was we had a little trip earlier this month with the family, Anna's family. We went to Palm Springs to a place. There's like the Hyatt. Her dad got us to stay at this Hyatt, which is basically a water park. It was like a hotel that had a water park, and it had these amazing water slides and a lazy river and multiple pools and stuff. And if you know, Palm Springs was like 106 degrees every day there.
Holy dick, yeah.
So you really want to be in a pool.
My
favorite thing, of course, is the lazy river. That is unbelievable. But I actually, with the nephew Christopher, he was going on the water slide, and I went to watch when it dumped him out. And I'm afraid of heights, and I watched him get dumped out of that thing, and I thought, that looks so fun. I'm going on it. And I went on the water slides like 6 times.
Yeah.
And I loved it. Loved it.
Ah,
And
it's so
I can't
awesome.
wait to do it again. And I feel like this type of stuff is like going to help me with my fear of heights a little bit. It's like,
Totally.
do it.
Just look at the reward. It
was so fun.
There's instantly a reward. You get that, but I get to go down the thing, and then is there, because it's a
Pure
hotel?
pleasure.
Is there the water slide? Maybe some of the bigger suites or whatever. Is there a way to get a water slide that dumps you directly into your hotel room?
I wish. That'd be amazing.
What a mess that would be.
The great thing about this place is, unlike we used to go to the Omni in Palm Springs, which is a place where the public can just come in and, like, you know, buy a day pass and use the water, like slides and the water, like the pools and stuff. So as a result, it is, I mean, it's so crowded with people. It's like unbelievable. But this place, the Hyatt, I think you have to be staying there in a room to actually get access to the pool. So it was like a quarter of the people, and it was such a fantastic experience. And I wish I hadn't just talked about it, because now everyone's going to go.
Yeah, you made it worse.
Crowded.
Now there's going to be 2 more people there. And also now, because you're going to be a full-time working man again, the next time you go to the lazy river, you can look down on it.
Yeah. Why don't you pull yourself up by your bootstraps, River?
Yeah. Tired of my taxes paying for your lazy river ass.
Look at this Democrat River. Yeah.
Ooh. You know what I did for pleasure?
What?
I got this is the second time in this G.R.A.P.E.S second letter in a row where I'm using a Batmobile. I got this die-cast 1989 style Batmobile for like $10 at Target.
Man, that's a good looking one too. That's from the original Batman, huh?
Yes.
I mean the Batman movie.
Well, no, and it comes with this little figurine. There's a Michael Keaton or Bat style figurine. He's solid.
That will not fit in that car.
No, he doesn't do it. It's just for display. It's just for fun. But it's so slick, and I know how much you like the '89 Batman. And I wasn't going to do 2 Batmobile things in a row, but who cares? I
love that one.
Because
I was just online talking to
beauty.
someone else, debating which one was the best Batman movie, and to me, it's Michael Keaton. It's number one.
I thought you would appreciate the Batmobile in the G.R.A.P.E.S as well. And there's one of those things where I'm like, it's just cool to look at. I don't have to assemble or anything.
I love that.
And I just went, you know what? It's got the style. This is my favorite Batman outfit. I think my favorite Batman costume.
It's great.
Yeah,
the black and gold. Have we ever talked about the fact that Michael Keaton started out as a stand-up comedian?
No.
That's one of the things I love about him.
So did the guy who voiced Cobra Commander.
Really?
Yeah. Chris, you're a Seinfeld guy.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Seinfeld episode where they were stuck on a subway train in New York City?
Yep.
And there was a criminal who got stopped by a bad guy. The criminal was Chris Latta, who was the voice of Cobra Commander and Starscream of Transformers fame.
Did he use the voice at all when he was arrested or anything?
I wish he did.
I know.
But there's a gag in one of the G.I. Joe episodes, and this was in 1986, where he tells Dr. Mindbender, "Your plans to do the blah 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 are deader than disco." And then Mindbender walks away, and Commander says to himself, "Deader than disco. I like that. I would have made an excellent stand-up comedian."
Nice.
I was like, yes.
That's cool. Man,
and
that's
then
really
I think, and then he had a really big drugs and alcohol problem, and he died shortly after that Seinfeld episode.
That's sad. It's a sad, tragic ending. Welcome to Beachtown, our mental health podcast designed to cheer you up. And we are on letter E for exercise. And I'll just tell you, I didn't do any. I may have gone swimming once or twice. But you know what? Lazy river just counteracts that.
You can't exercise in a lazy river. The river won't let you. The river won't have
go
it.
with the river. I think the most exercise there I got was when I was like, Anna, let me wait for you and go against the stream. But no, not a lot of.
Well, didn't you run up and down though? Weren't you running up and down the steps to go up the water slides or down the water slides?
Yes, that's true.
You were running.
That's true, and I think you're in bad shape when you get up there to the top and it's just all these kids like, yeah, I can't wait to go on the slide. And I'm like, I need a minute. Oh, I'm dying. Don't make me go on the slide yet. I can't breathe. Can't breathe. What's the altitude up here? The air is thin. It's thin air. Air is skinny. Yeah. So, but you probably you've
I'm
had
not
some
moving
difficulties
so
as well
hot.
with E, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been doing my
Is
my
this what your exercise is right now?
this that hurts so badly. But no, yeah, don't do it. But no, my exercise, I'm still doing my resistance cords pretty lightly and taking my long walks and everything else. I'll walk on a non, before my resistance cords, I'll walk for 15, 20 minutes. And on my non-resistance cords day, I'll make sure to walk for 30, 40 minutes. It's something. I mean, I'm going slow. I'm walking like snails fuck. Like I'm not moving fast, but still at the same.
It's like a monkey in a football.
It's like a monkey fucking a football. It's kind of almost what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can explain if you like, maybe some other time.
Are you did you talk about this at all? Of sort of
no. So my doctor. Let's go. We'll go more with diet. I've been very extra grumpy because in addition to my work suddenly being crazy with the overtime, and
this
all
is why, right? This is why.
So,
because no more Pepsi Blue.
No more. Yeah. So I got rid of all the bottles. I'm gonna break the fourth wall. I'm breaking more fourth walls than the Kool-Aid Man right now. I love that joke. So, it's possible that on occasion I actually reused some of the Pepsi Blue and Diet Pepsi.
I knew it. I'm glad. I wouldn't want you to be drinking that much Pepsi Blue. It's just not good for you.
The Diet Dr. Pepper I was regularly drinking, but it's diet and it tastes just like regular Dr. Pepper. And what we could have done, if we had the choice, was go to coca-cola.com/Dr. enter promo code Beachtown, and absolutely nothing would have happened in the past, right?
And by the way, everybody, I think Bob has drank so many Diet Dr. Peppers that he had to go see a real doctor. About pepper levels.
Yes. I'm like, are you Dr. Pepper? Like, he's like, no, I'm Dr. Burgess. You were in trouble. So the doctor calls me. This fucking guy.
He said, I'm Mr. Pibb. Nice to meet you.
It's like, Jesus Christ. Hi. Listen, I got shoals and I got octopus on the other line.
Like, that was fast.
Don't get me going. Tell Quinn Medicine Woman I will be there when I get there. I went deep with the doctor.
That was good.
I'll be here all week. What was it? Oh yeah, so he calls me, and in addition, I gotta get up early and get more blood work done tomorrow. Not for the surgery from the hernia. The hernia surgery is just gonna happen one way or another. This fucking guy, he calls me, says I'm obese. I'm obese. He says, we don't know, you might have diabetes because you have a lot of sugar. He says, I have high cholesterol. I have a cholesterol of 212. And he says, basically got to be drinking 8 bottles of water a day. I'm like, which I got up to 7 yesterday, which is good enough. And listen, I'm not a doctor again, but I might as well be. So you don't need 8. 4 is cool. 5 is pretty good. 5 is good. You don't need 8. Like, knock it off. No, human beings weren't meant to pee all day. You're not supposed to. That's a lie. That's a lie.
How many Pepsi Blues are we supposed to have every day?
You're supposed to have half Pepsi Blue.
8 full glasses of Pepsi Blue. That's the doctor Bob was looking for. He wanted the doctor that's like, listen, you're not drinking enough Pepsi Blue. So I don't know if you've been switching over to the Pepsi Mango, but you need to switch back. We're gonna have to increase your blue intake up to at least 8 tall glasses.
We got your blood samples back from the lab, and your blue is low.
It's not blue enough.
You need more glucose, is what you need.
Your blood is red, and that's a problem.
By the way, I just want you to know your lab results brought to you by Pepsi Cola. Like, what is this man?
Oh shit. Well, one of my favorite things, speaking of the other health issue that you brought up, was one of my other favorite things is when I see you on Twitter. I think I brought this up before. When someone will have some inspirational tweet or whatever, you just gotta put your boots up from your strings, and then Bob responds with like, I have to wear a girdle for my hernia.
Oh
my God. It's always like
It's always-
supermodels trying
Yeah,
to inspire you to be like,
yeah,
you got to do is be hot or whatever. And Bob's like,
yeah.
I
Well, no, I say hernia. I say
girdle
hernia twice. I have to wear a hernia girdle for my
for
hernia,
my hernia.
and then there's like 4 frowny faces.
I always screen capture those and send them over to Meryl.
Oh yeah. Oh, she sent the screen caps back to me. She's like, I love this. I'm like, well, thanks for showing me
I
those.
love this.
I'll teach you.
It's amazing.
That's my exercise. Is I'm falling apart, and I'm going to need a new computer because my computer only did I didn't say this on the air on whatever it is yet, but my computer only opens at like 70 degrees, not like a full 90. It's stuck. So my computer for audio listeners, my hand is not forming a full 90. It's like Pac-Man. Like it only opens like so far. Like it's wide for a mouth, but it's a laptop because half the hinge is busted and it's 4 years old anyway. So I can't open and close it anymore. So when I was driving across the country through COVID to stay at your place for 5 days, I knew it was having its last 5 or 6 opens and closings, and it was just, it's doomed from there. So what's my original point? I don't know.
You're gonna buy a new. You're gonna get a new computer.
I don't know where that fits into grapes. Whatever.
I don't know, but it's
Gives a
exercise
shit.
when you keep it.
Who
What
gives
about
a
S?
shit?
Any social?
S.
Have you done some social?
Nah, when we filmed on the whenever we last filmed a few days later on September 11th, I went to Pacific Beach and I hung out with my friend Allie, who is a nurse.
Oh, cool.
And she used to run and do some shows and do some comedy in New York, but now she doesn't because she's smarter than us. And also an extra accomplishment, if we had recorded that the day after that, was I was able to safely acquire and quickly acquire a parallel parking spot on Mission Boulevard at 8 p.m. in Pacific Beach. So that was an accomplishment in itself, just to acquire that parking space.
That's great. That's an S.
So we had a great 9/11.
I'll never forget it.
In fact, I didn't forget it because it's been 3 weeks and I brought it up. So I obey. I did what I'm supposed to do. I don't know why everybody else does, but
I don't know. They
not
gotta
nice.
remember.
Yeah.
I don't have much for S. I'm gonna say that I hung out with you and
yeah,
and it was pretty good.
How'd that go?
It's good. We went up to Oceanside. The
That's
other
right.
road trip that was long was we went to Temecula with Vicky and we did a theater up there, the Merc Theater, and I got to hang out with Vicky and Lou up in Temecula, and I actually went up there early with Anna and we went around to the little wineries looking at wedding venues, and so
Now wait a
that
minute.
was fun.
Were these wineries as fancy as the winery that also sold pizza that we told jokes at? Or were these fancier wineries than the ones that also sold pizza?
They were pretty fancy, but I don't know. Yeah.
Because the privateer winery and pizzeria of Oceanside 7 years ago,
Yeah, it's a long name.
whatever the fuck that was.
Coal-fired, and they have to give you every. It's like the privateer, coal-fired pizza, and grape-stumped wine.
Yeah, sponsored by Pepsi
Marketplace
Blue.
of
Yeah,
Oceanside, sponsored by Pepsi Blue and Diet Dr. Pepper.
Oh,
They don't have a vineyard there. So it's not that fancy. It's just a pizzeria.
For thee I sing.
It's nice, but
Yeah, no, it's nice. No, I had 2 pieces. I had one of your pieces of pepperoni, and the Heather Marie who has a baby now. She got impregnated at one point. She has a baby. I had one of her cheesy mozzarella slices as well. It was very tasty.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. You could have ordered your own pizza. They would have given that to you. free of
Nah,
charge. But that was good of you to not do that, because then you didn't overeat and eat too much pizza.
that's the thing. Yeah, because I'm not supposed to be eating big meals, because of my hernia.
It was smart. You're not
you
supposed to
know,
eat crap anymore. You're
I'm
supposed to eat
so
fruits and
hungry.
vegetables.
I ate cauliflower 4 hours ago, and I'm just
Okay.
so fucking hungry.
Just don't, stop shopping at 7-Eleven. You got to get real.
I don't
food.
go to 7-Eleven unless I'm with you.
I know. Well,
I go to Targets and Vons like a
Okay.
man. Yeah,
Like a man.
like an American man.
How are we gonna cheer you up, Bob?
We're
It
not-
seems
well-
like you're so down today. It's like by next
So
week we got to
fucking
find
pissed
a way
off.
to turn this around and get back up on that high that
I'll
you were
probably have-
riding when you had your best set ever.
Well, I have this phone I'm holding up for no reason. No, that's not why I'm holding up my phone. We had a question 18 months ago when we did our last episode
Okay, who is it?
from give me 1 second. It was
Okay.
from a listener. We have
We
so
only had
many that
two.
I lose track of our listeners very quickly just because of all the ones that we have. Because of
Yeah.
oh, this is from Chris in the Netherlands. Chris Miwa in the Netherlands, also
Hey, Chris.
of the Chasing 80s Toys channel. He's a very nice gentleman, Chris Miwa.
Mm-hmm.
And he writes
Good dude.
14 years ago when we did our last episode. He wrote, I hope he's still around. He writes, great show, guys, with a thumbs up emoji. Okay, he wrote that to us. Great
Thanks,
show,
Chris.
guys. Question for you both for the next episode. That's now.
Okay.
All right. Who has been inspiring you with stand-up comedy, and who inspires you to become the best person you could be? That's a double question there.
Ooh, those are
Also,
good.
he also writes a movie suggestion for Bob, 1986 Labyrinth. Cheers, guys, with another thumbs up. They say cheers a lot.
That's a great recommendation. I love that one.
I've never seen Labyrinth.
David Bowie.
Ah, I thought that was Willow. What's Willow?
Willow is similar, but that one is Val Kilmer.
Willow is the one I saw once. I was in a girls' freshman dorm trying to have sex with a girl who kind of not really had a mustache. But
That's it. That's the movie. That's
I
exactly
didn't have it though, and that's how I remember Willow. Mustache
That-
Lori. That's what we named her. That's what I named her. I was a dick. But yeah, hey, listen, you throw it at the wall, you see if it sticks. You know what I mean? Anyway, so the question is, who has been inspiring us in stand-up comedy, and who inspires us to be the best people we can be? The double whammy. Are they the same? I don't know.
They're not the same for me. But would you like to answer first, or what? Do you have an answer prepared?
I'll try with comedy. No one inspires me to be the best person I can be.
No one does, huh?
Maybe Chris Miwa of Chasing 80s Toys.
Yeah.
Not possibly. Now let me see with comedy. That's an easier one. I haven't looked at that in weeks. The first stand-up comedian I saw was Rodney Dangerfield, and I would have been 9 or 10 years old. And I didn't know what stand-up was. So every stand-up I saw shortly after that, like he had his show on HBO. Like that's when I first saw Sam Kinison and all that. And I didn't know you could just yell at people. I didn't understand. I didn't know you could just do that. Because I was a Catholic school kid. You're just always told to shut up while they yell at you. Like, be quiet while you're screaming at you. No, I am quiet. You're insane. None. Sister whoever the fuck, but I don't remember them, but they're all dead anyway. So they're not alive. They were alive, but now it's been 180 since they were alive. So so Rodney, I thought other stand-up comedians they were just doing what Rodney Dangerfield did. And I was 9 or 10. Like I said, we got rid of HBO, I think around 90, 91. I think it was because like they had the Sports Illustrated show, and like there weren't technically boobies in it, but there was a lot of like wet t-shirts and whatnot. And I think my mom didn't want me to ever have fun, so she canceled it, and we didn't have HBO anymore. Maybe it was too expensive. I don't really know. But anyway, Rodney Dangerfield was on HBO a lot, and you could still see clips of him like on Carson and stuff. And I would crack up, and I know my dad would crack up, and he would just have one-liner after one-liner, and it would be so much fun. So I always thought, oh, let me do that. I want to do that when I get older. I want to be that guy. And then, unfortunately, pro wrestling caught my eye and ruined my whole life. So whatever. But Rodney Dangerfield would be there's other comedians I look up to for a variety of reasons, but I think that would be the best answer I could give for the first part of that question.
It's a great answer. I mean, you don't get any better than Rodney. I think Rodney is the most pure stand-up comic of all time. He's really my favorite stand-up comic ever. And I just think like everything he said and did was funny. And his I think his interviews on late night talk shows were the best that ever happened. Just them firing little setups and him just knocking down the punchlines is just amazing.
Well, he would do a set and then he'd sit down, and Johnny Carson, for those of you,
he would have 100 more jokes after
he would and he loved Roddy so much, he would just set him up to do basically another set, and that was almost the gag.
And nobody's really ever done that since. I've never seen anything like that before or since. I just think it's basically someone coming out and doing 2 full sets of stand-up back to back, one standing up, one sitting down. And it was just brilliant. And so I don't want to answer the same way, even though Rodney was my favorite, but
I ruined it.
No, but I think his question also specific of like who inspires you also currently. And to me, there's a lot of comics that currently I'm inspired by, and not necessarily big famous names, but when I get to work with Vicky Barbalack and I see that
Yeah.
she has brand new bits that are really funny and really personal, it always inspires me to try to keep writing and keep going. There was comics, from the ones that we started with, like Brian Simpson was a comic that I remember coming up at the Madhouse and watching him on open mics and thinking, I love the profound things he says, and thinking of how I can simplify my act and the wording, and sort of even touch something as sort of meaningful as the way he does it. And then the other two I would say that really inspire me was Eric Myers, rest in peace. It was this comedian from LA who, like Sam Kinison, would yell and scream and get crazy. And I just thought he had the most amazing, silly energy. And I loved everything about his performance. I mean, he would really just wring all of the funny out of a subject and get everyone in the crowd to laugh till they just couldn't really breathe. I mean, he was really one of the funniest people I've ever seen. And it's a shame that he passed away. But him and Theo Vaughn, Theo's
Okay,
another
yeah.
one who I just think of as like this unique voice, who has sort of carved out his own niche by being just this unique personality who thinks differently. It was once described as a synonym comedian, where he'll say a phrase and then say it in these synonyms. Like, he'll say, I got a lot of thoughts in my mind, and he'll be like, I got a lot of brain bumps up in my flap house, or he'll just come up with another weird way of
Yeah.
saying the same thing. And you rarely see that. And I think those are the ones that like really inspire me to go, how do I improve and take it to the next level and just try to keep getting better, instead of like stagnating or doing old material that I know works, and just keep driving it into the ground until it's
Yeah.
meaningless.
Totally.
So that would be my answer. And then who inspires you to be a better person? It's always my dad for me, because my dad was
Yeah.
always like my hero. So I always think of like, even when I get down on, there's like so many crappy people in the world, and so many dumb, selfish, greedy, horrible people. But then I think of my
Yeah.
father, and he's the opposite of all those things. He's considerate and gentle and kind and smart and inquisitive. And I just love him so much. And so he'd be the one person that when I think of, when they say, oh, faith in humanity restored, for me, it's always my
Yeah.
dad. So that's
Well,
my
that's
answer.
that's a great answer. And I thought you were going to say that.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it. Funny you mentioned that, because the person who inspires me to just to bookend it to be the best person I can be is actually your mom. Because she just terrifies me. She's just so afraid. Like I think part of the reasons I have so many nightmares is that I'm wide awake, just afraid of her disapproval.
You're running, she's chasing you in your
I
dreams.
kind of feel like I once okay. I once climbed the second turnbuckle to drop an elbow on Zoltan.
Yeah.
This fearless woman, this tiny fearless woman, walks up. There's no fuck security, fuck the ring barricades or whatever, no guardrails, whatever. Just I it just walks right up to the ring apron, which is the hardest part of the ring.
Yeah.
And she walks right up to the ring apron, and I'm about to drop. I look down to my right, and I go, "Is that? It can't be." Because
Yeah.
you know how it is when you're on stage with comedy. It's like a lot of things like you'll notice, but there's a lot of things you're not going to notice because you're clearly occupied elsewhere. Now with wrestling, imagine that, but it's physical, and you're
Yeah.
tired, and there's all this pressure on you. And it was my first match after a 5 year of what I thought was retirement. So imagine the pressure on me. And this is the thing, I trained Zoltan, I put the whole thing together, yada, yada, yada. And just right as I'm about to drop that forearm off the second, I turn and go, that can't be Jesse's mom. No way.
Well,
It's
she
some.
jumped up so quick, I couldn't warn her that you could die if you stand there.
Yeah,
And she's just
it was that was the thing. It was unsafe. I'm going to be fine, but it was just like, that's not safe, because, I mean, thankfully it's a singles match. It's only me and Zoltan, the referee. So there's no. If it was a tag thing and there's bodies flying around, if it's like me and Fresh versus two guys, I might have stopped and been like, yo,
that's the thing people don't understand about
okay.
pro
Yeah.
wrestling. They think this is all so pre-scripted that like you can't get hurt or something, but you can get really hurt. And I was like, Mom, she's just like
Yeah.
filming, and I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa.
She took great pictures. It always made me laugh too when I heard, like, trailing off now, when people would like old stories in bars, like when back in the 80s and 90s more so, local tough guys would challenge pro wrestlers who were just trying to drink a beer before they drive really far to the next town, obviously,
Right.
and everything else. And it always made me laugh when they go, "Oh, what the hell is he going to do? That guy, oh, yeah, what the hell is he going to do? This shit's fake. Okay, this shit's fake." Yeah, here's the thing, though. If a dude's like 6'4" and 280, a dude is 6'4" and 280 and jacked up, and there's muscles coming out of places where we don't have places. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell is the difference if his show or match, whatever, was predetermined? That's still a giant angry guy who's grumpy, he's sore, and now he's drinking and doesn't know you.
That's a good way to get slapped really, really
Like,
hard.
what is the thought process? Like, I mean, if they had if now there's camera phones and shit doesn't happen, but
Yeah.
the people that Andre beat up, don't even bother. Don't Haku and the Barbarian and Blackjack Mulligan, and I don't think Stan Hansen was Uncle Stan wasn't that violent. I think he stayed to himself, but he didn't challenge him in the ring. I'm not related to Stan the Lariat Hansen. If anyone out there thinks that I was insinuating, I'm not actually related to Stan the Lariat Hansen. But I'm just saying, you just didn't do that. Like, you go, hey, you know what? Hacksaw Jim Duggan, he's so goofy on TV. I bet you I could fight him. No, you can't. You can't fight. He's 65 right now. You can't, trust me. We can't fight Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Don't do that.
I wouldn't try.
What's the matter with you?
I would not try.
Good God! But I'm glad I got that question. I want to answer.
Great question,
Chris. I hope we have
Chris.
answered your question. We enjoy. I enjoy your videos at Chasing 80s Toys, and he's a very charming young individual. He's older than me, I think. He's a young individual. Looks young. He eats right. Drinks water. 8 bottles a day. That Chris.
His Pepsi Blue levels, though, are plummeting.
He has no Pepsi Blue in him. He's smiling. It's the worst.
Oh man. Well, I think that's our show.
It's
We got to
over.
wrap it up.
Oh,
we don't
God.
have a movie review this week, but
No.
we had so much to go through and review from our last month of not doing the show. So thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate the support. If you want to check us out on Patreon, at some point we'll have a Patreon that does something, but who knows when you'll listen to this. By the time we get Patreon, so many great prizes.
There's no way of knowing.
There's really no way.
Play with my Batmobile.
I love that thing. And thank you guys so much. You can check us out. Bob Hansen, where can they find you online?
Somewhere they can find me caught between a landslide. What are the lyrics to that song? It's that song they played while I was in college, not having sex. Fucking
I can feel it calling in the air tonight.
No, that was Phil Collins. Yeah. That's all right. It's always the same. It's just a shame. That's all. But hey, listen. This is the world we live in, and these are the hands we're given. So let's use them and start trying to make it a better place. That Beachtown comedy is really where you want to go to see the new episodes. That Bob Hansen Jokes is where I tell hot women about my hernia. And I'm gonna buy more toys. Thank you for everyone watching my fun boxing videos as well. I appreciate that.
That's great. And you can find me at Jesse Egan Comedy on all social media, including Venmo. You can follow me at Jesse Egan Comedy on Venmo.
That's right.
And I just recently did that so that people would send me money. Hopefully they will, but you never know. And then if you can check out the other podcast I do called Awful Neutral, we just recorded our Halloween special, which was a serial killer special. Well, actually, we play serials. I play Frankenberry, and it's pretty fun. So Bajan is Count Chocula.
Is he really?
Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for checking us out. Beachtown podcast signing off. Thank you guys.
Soon the living will envy the dead.